I joined the Finger Lakes GO in 2010, transitioned to the Boston GO in 2013. Sometimes people enter this business thinking that they'll give it a try and see if it works out, and that was never my attitude or mindset. Once I found it, I instantly fell in love with it, and I knew this is what I was going to be doing. I knew this would be, this would be what my work life was. I always felt I had the altruistic desire to help people, but at the same time, I wanted to be able to create a great lifestyle for myself and my family, and financial services seemed to be a great way to do that. So I love planning. I love collecting all the pertinent information related to my client's financial life and organizing it in an easy to digest manner for them. And then when I simplify it and I put it in some sort of presentation, I can watch the light bulb go off, and that to me is super satisfying.
Patrick's a consummate professional. Very, very communicative. He can take very complex subject matter and distill it down to something that's very understandable for clients and is actionable for clients, and he motivates them to take action.
I've always enjoyed taking on cases and working with clients who have a certain degree of complexity. That's something that was attractive to me in joining New York Life, and I have the ability to do that here, and I have the resources to help me do it too.
Patrick really likes the big cases, in part because he's a great problem solver. So he works with the clients to identify the problem, to point out why it's a problem, to devise the solution.
He does very in-depth research. He stays up to date with what's going on in the markets to a very significant extent. And then even though we don't show that necessarily to the client, we know that we have a solid basis for making the recommendations that we do. Patrick has always had the vision of somebody who wanted to build a big organization, a big financial advisory organization.
Patrick works great alone, and he works great on teams.
I do love the team environment. So we're working on building a more robust team in Andover.
And so we started working together. We have formed a DBA, Third Financial Partners.
Tim Leahy has been a huge influence in my career over the course of the last handful of years. Peter Morin, Connor Townsend, we're all working together, and the camaraderie involved in that is something that is important to me.
But it's also the mentoring he does. It's the mentoring he does with his staff. It's the mentoring he does with other agents. It's joint work that he works with other agents. He's a teacher along with being a practitioner. He's also been more active nationally with New York Life. He was one of the key players in a big advanced planning webinar, a national advanced planning webinar this year. So it's really great to see Patrick, really flourishing as a terrific planner and successful advisor.
One of the best things about Patrick is he's just got a great attitude. He's always happy. He's very optimistic.
Working with Tim's clients is a huge responsibility. It's his business, so I want to take the type of care as if they were my own clients, which, quite frankly, they have become.
I've introduced Patrick to a few of my top clients, and he's worked with them over the last couple years, and I'm pretty sure that some of them like him better than they like me.
So the next step is, okay, how are we going to grow the practice so that we can continue to add capacity and help more people? Bill Terry's been someone I've been able to lean on in terms of growing my business and thinking things through in terms of where I want to go next, developing a vision.
Well, I meet with Patrick periodically, and I mostly focus on his practice management. What are the most effective strategies to grow his practice, to increase his revenue, but to also keep a mind on growth and how to structure himself. And so we brainstorm periodically on that. It's also been fun to see him grow his business while he's growing his family. And from my perspective, it's been fun to watch him really achieve his goals with the right motivation, dedicating himself to being there for his family, being there for those special moments with his kids.
Peter is great at making me accountable. I mean, I think it is the old saying, the business is simple, but it's not easy. And Peter helps to keep it simple.
I have a lot of fun working with Patrick. A lot of my job entails trying to talk people into the potential, the enormous potential that we have in our business. And Patrick's already there. He already sees it.
Dave Dowd and I met in 2013. Dave said he heard what I was saying on the phone, and because I had a cubicle right outside his door, and that was the spark that led him to ask me to work more closely with his clients.
I could hear his conversations with his clients and stuff, and I said to myself, I gotta get a hold of this guy before somebody else gets a hold of him. It's his knowledge of the business that he understands it from tip to root, really. When I was at the council meeting, they had a booth that allowed agents to name their successor agent. When I got back from council, Patrick approached me and he says, I'm honored that you would pick me to be your successor agent. And I said, no, Patrick, I'm the one that's honored.
When I first started thinking about retiring, we met a few times, just had lunch, got comfortable with each other.
The way I got connected to Tom was through a contact at the Boston General office, and we hit it off.
Patrick said what I believe. The client comes first. Whatever the client wants and needs, that's what we do.
From the moment we met, it was very comfortable. Tom explained to me his philosophy in working with clients, and I shared mine, and it was a match.
Patrick does everything. He's a CFP. He does all the research on all kinds of new products, new services, everything. He gets involved in everything. He takes everything to a whole different level. What he's done, what Patrick has done this year, the commission level that he's attained, that's something that would take me about a decade to do. So I want to make note of that. He has done all of this while still being a great husband and a great father. As I said before, my clients don't care whether they see me again or not.
He's great at introducing humor into working with clients. So, obviously it puts them at ease. That's something that I've always tried to have an informal approach, but I think Tom takes it to the next level and it works. I mean, his clients love him.
Well, I get to play off him every once in a while, and I get to see how he's thinking, and I enjoy that. I love seeing the solutions. And we work together on those, so it's really fun.
So I remember when I first transitioned to the Boston General office, I was in a mentor group with Ron Cooper, and he described Eagle Strategies as get rich slow. And that always stuck with me. And I think everything we do, most of what we do anyway, has a long time horizon associated with it. The same is true for us as advisors. I think we need to take a long-term focus on our practice. And Eagle Strategies is a great way to do that, to add a level of stability to our income, which I think helps us to be better planners and advisors for our clients if our financial house is in order. A major contributor to my success in 2022 especially was deciding as an advisor and in my own business to take risks. Those risks included going after more estate planning cases and executive benefit plans. So executive benefits is super competitive, and you might or not win the business, and I'm thankful that I did, and I plan to win more. My assistant Darlene and I have been working together for 6 years. She's vital to the overall success of my business. She makes sure everything keeps moving when I need to be working with our clients.
This job with Patrick is a lot of fun. Yeah, it's kind of like we work really well together. We have a good rapport. It's kind of like a family. That's what it's like, working with a family member.
My wife says we wouldn't be able to do our life without Darlene, and she's right. I'm very fortunate to have found her, and she's an absolute joy to work with.
But yeah, he's really great at his job, and I have a lot of respect for him. Patrick is very trustworthy, and his clients recognize that fact. that yes, they put their life in his hands, basically, you know, so, and I would too.
Going forward, Patrick's got very, very lofty goals. I'm sure chairman's cabinet is something that's going to be a standard for him going forward. Really, I think council presidency is what's on his mind. He might not say that, but I see that in him.
Patrick certainly has the potential to be council president someday. He has the ability, the knowledge, he has the desire.
It's exciting. You know, I think the opportunity that we have ahead of us as advisors, as the market is changing and evolving and people are seeking advice, it gives me like chills down my spine to think about what could potentially happen in my career over the course of the next 10, 20, 30 years.